Hi everyone! For this video, I and my group will explain to you about our topic, and the topic title is Conceptualization of Teacher Learning and Individual and Institutional Perspective. We are from Group 2. My name is Dhea Saragih and my friends are Anissa Marpaung and Mitha Manurung. Okay, to make it more effective, we will start to explain to you, and the first explainer is Mitha Manurung, and then Anissa Marpaung, and the last one is myself, Dhea Saragih. Please play.
To have to work hard. The third adult student expression is that the work is related to the vocation. Fourth, adult students expression is that they expect to be related as adults. Adult expression or learning needs. Each of these four expressions, also stated in general terms, needs to be interpreted as individual needs. Students may vary in age, sex, background, and etc. The students treated as individuals find out more about them, or inside and outside classroom. The greater likelihood to return their learning to their needs and improve learning intentional kindness, empathy, and sincerity always reach dividends with adult learner.
Okay, the concept of learning. In 1981, Further Education Unit or VEU UK documented a suggested model of lesson design to help overcome the problems associated with the second and more readily applied to the approaches. This experience reflection learning model they suggested embodied the principle that 1. The process should be focused on the student's current experience. Second, it recognizes the adult nature of the learner by according responsibility for what is learned and how. And the third, the learning can take place in a variety of contexts. The suggestion was that the learning process should be considered in 3 phases. First, the student's experience needs to be followed by, secondly, some organized reflection. This reflection ensures that the student learns from the experience and also helps, thirdly, to identify any need for some specific learning before further experience is accurate. Okay, now I will explain about the concept of teaching. Teaching is a set of events outside the learners which are designed to support internal process of learning. Teaching as instruction is outside the learner. Learning is internal to learners. You cannot motivate others if you are not self-motivated. And also, in teaching, the teacher has a role. Traditionally, the role of the teacher is teacher-centered. And in modern, the role of the teacher as the facilitator. It means that the student centered. There has been a change from the traditional role to the modern role in the present context. The learning increased when the teacher builds on the previous experience of the student. Identifying the slow learners and individual attention of the teacher may be required. Thus, effective learning is to a great extent based on experience. Okay, next is higher education and institutional motives. Higher education development activities are referred to in the literature in various ways as faculty development, educational development, instructional development, and academic development. Chalmers in 2012 divided teaching development programs into formal and informal programs. Formal programs are accredited or required, and they are offered in either intensive or extended version. Informal programs include shorter workshops or seminars, online courses, or special events. And next, institutional motives, on the other hand, are more related to strategic planning and quality management. The main focus is not on the teacher but on change of the whole organization. Development these initiatives are often top-down and take place in response to an institutional or national agenda. Impact on organizational change and improved educational quality is obviously facilitated if the courses are made compulsory. According to both perspectives, the underlying assumption is that the courses will have an effect of an individual teacher who will contribute to changing the organization and raising the quality. Criticized by scholars who argue that the link between development of teaching and institutional change is not automatic but need further investigation, by Gibbs and Coffey 2004, Troller and Bamber 2005. To move beyond the division between the individual and institutional motives, we turn to ideologies of education. These ideologies serve to build a bridge between the societal context and the motives for education. The literature provides several different presentations of educational ideologies. Here are categorizations inspired by Troller 1998 and Shiro 2008. Distinguish between the traditional ideology, the social efficiency ideology, the learner-centered ideology, and the social reconstruction ideology. The categories presented are ideal types that serve to help to understand the beliefs and values held about the role of universities and of academics as teachers. They are useful for showing differences between phenomena or characterizing traits with the purpose of to clarify important features and facilitate comparison, by Association et al. 2007.
Okay, now I will continue to explain about the things that related to the conceptualization of teacher learning and individual and institutional perspective. There are four things that related to the conceptualization of teacher learning. The first one is for the students of or the learner, and the second one is for the teacher or lecturer, and then for the institutional, and the last one is for the government. So I will explain to you one by one. The first one is for the students or the learner. For the students, the mechanism between courses and the increased quality is for about the student-centered learning or the student-active learning. Quality in education will be reached by giving a concern of the pedagogy and the student-active learning. As the society say that it is important for the students to be active in the learning process. Education is the dominant view among the students. Education is understood as something highly functional and something that will supply society with skilled people in order to develop society. What is the meaning of that sentence? It means that the education is the most important thing to make the students' skill increase or to make the students be able to work in the real life like that. And then professions change and become more modern, then new competence is needed. That is the result of teacher learning and a good way of student-centered learning or the student-active learning. Now for the second one is about university teachers or the lecturers. As we know that the lecturers are the person that teach the students in university. So the university teachers express a learning-centered perspective, like I said before about the student-active learning and the student section. And then in this chapter of university teachers or the lecturers influenced by the social efficiency perspective. The main purpose is, of course, personal development. But really, the most important aim is that society gets educated people who can move society forward. Yes, that's right. That's why the education is important so that they can become a good person in their society like that. The benefit for the society, it is the fundamentals of human existence. Individuals want to develop. Why? Because individuals will grow and grow and grow and develop according to the situation and the conditions and according to the what happened in the society like that. And then education is part of human development. It can be formal, like we get it in school, and emotional, like what we feel, and then even about facts. To become a Renaissance person's knowledge, able and interested in facts and humanities. Education is part of human change that benefits both people and both the global community. Why? Because the education will make changing in a personal or individual in as inside of the people and then for the society also. That's why education is part of human change that benefits to both people and the global community. And then also, the teachers view knowledge as capabilities for action. The main purpose is both stimulate and provide skills for knowledge acquisition and also to teach students critical thinking. What is the meaning of provide skills for knowledge acquisition? It means that when the teacher teaches the student, then the student will be provided by the knowledge. And then it will also teach the students critical thinking. Yes, for this reason why education is important is because when we doing something like when we work and when we do our homework, it will train us to become more thinking and we have a critical thinking, so we can increase our thinking and many sections in our life like that. And then it is important to provide the skills that students need in working life and that are important in professional programs. Yes, the idea of learning to teach is about becoming aware of how to begin the needs of students to create knowledge rather than transfer knowledge. Why? Because when it is the process of learning become the student active learning or the student centered learning, it means that the important people that include in that learning process is the students. So it means that it is better to create the knowledge rather than to transfer the knowledge. So the teacher or the lecturer is just for the facilitator that give or help the students when they have difficulties in learning like that. And we can generate knowledge together. Teachers don't know best all the time, and we as the students, we can create conditions for learning together along with the teacher or the lecturer. Right now for the third person that related to the concept is the central university management or the institutional. The central university level is in favor of courses and has an institutional perspective on educational development. Higher education development and teacher training are generally viewed as a part of overall quality management. Educational development is argued from an efficiency perspective. I will read for you. The purpose of higher education is to contribute to a knowledge society which trains students to go out to society to workplaces, but also as citizens. We equip students with a good knowledge foundation. The teacher training is a way to make the best of the time and to offer a long-term ability to relate to knowledge and explore the world critically. Yes, that's right. And these sentences or this opinion is for one person that work in an institution. So she or he said that the purpose of higher education is to make a better students become more able in doing something as workers and also as the part of society like that. And then the institutional perspective on educational development is combined with a social efficiency perspective on the purpose of higher education as expressed in the quality plan of an university, and I will read for you also. Students need to develop in-depth subject knowledge and critical education while developing practical skills and skills that are valuable in the professional world. Education should be offered with regard to both the needs of the labor market and student demand as well as the university's internal prerequisites. So I will explain to you what is the important point from this opinion. It is said that the education should be offered with regard to both the needs of the labor market, the student demand, also to the university internal prerequisites. It means that this education must be able to give benefits to the student and then to the society and then to the university itself like that. Alright, for the last person that related to the concept is the government. The government's view on learning has moved from a wish to improve the teacher's pedagogical competencies and a perceived need to enhance the status of undergraduate education to a focus on efficiency and widening participation. They originated from student criticism of the higher education system and argued for a need to enhance the requirements and the quality of undergraduate education. Higher education is designed as secondary school and does not provide enough space for independent development of the individual. The social efficiency perspective appears occasionally, but is not the focus. Instead, the proposal in the report focused on the personal and individual development of the teacher as well as emphasizing the teachers on preference about how to develop their teaching role. From what I have read, it means that the government wants the teacher become more able to make their own way to teach the student, so the student can be successful in the society and then for themselves like that. So it is also said that the education need to enhance the status of undergraduate education to focus on efficiency and widening participation. It means that it is not only for making the students success in the university, but it is also important to make the student success in the real life outside the school or the university. Alright, now for the conclusion, I will read for you as we have discussed in group 2 about the conceptualization of teacher learning and individual and institutional perspectives. This is the conclusion that we made. I will read for you. There are three important contributions of the study that educational developers and central university managements need to consider. First, there is a strong ideology of efficiency, usefulness, and labor market orientation motivating learning. This can be contrasted with the lack of mentioning of words like equity, gender equality, and sustainable development. Second, the social efficiency ideology view of all stakeholders except the teachers indicates an instrumentalist view of teaching. Educational development courses often influence with ideas about constructive alignment of turning the curriculum into a package that is predictable and limiting the possibilities for exploration and improvisation. Finally, the often present focus in the literature on the importance of the reflective practitioner in higher education teaching training seems to be less concerned for the investigated stakeholders except for among teachers themselves. The diverging view of the teachers on the motives and ideology of educational development compared to the other groups needs to be kept in mind to maintain the legitimacy of the learning process. That's all about our explanation for our topic. It is about the conceptualization of teacher learning and individual and institutional perspective. We apologize if there are any mistakes, and we say also thank you for your attention and have a great day.